Hi everyone, thanks for tuning in to our webinar, Study in the USA, 10 Matters of Personal and Academic Life That You Want to Know Before Attending. Um, so I'm Aquila Ocean and I'm going to be presenting to you today. So just a little bit about me. I'm a government international politics major at George Mason University. I am a junior, and in the United States that's typically referred to as the third year out of your 4 years of your academic career. So apart from being a student at George Mason University, I'm an ambassador for admissions. I'm in student government as the Executive Secretary of Government and Community Relations. I'm a resident advisor on campus for Housing and Residence Life, and I'm our Community Service Chair on our Black Student Alliance. So as we go along today, any questions that you may have can be submitted through the question dialog box on a rolling basis, and I will answer them as they come along. So I'm currently in India. I'm in Delhi, and I've definitely learned a lot about the culture of India compared to the United States. So it's been a very exciting experience, and I'm really excited to present to you today. So we want this to be an interactive experience, so feel free to ask questions as we go along. If something pertains to the slide, if it doesn't, just let me know, and I will try to get to them as we go along. All right, so a little bit about my location. I came from Nevada, so Las Vegas, Nevada is my hometown, and I came all the way across the country to Fairfax, Virginia, which is about 20-30 minutes out of Washington, D.C., our nation's capital. I chose my university because it's right by Washington, D.C. I'm a government major, so it suits all my needs. But coming across the country, I definitely got an experience, as all states are different. So I may be able to relate to you, if even lightly, of how it's going to be coming to a university as an international student. So even if you have questions relating to that, please let me know. All right, Study in the USA, 10 Matters of Personal and Academic Life That You Want to Know Before Attending. Number 10, think about your university choice wisely. So when you're deciding a university, there are 3 important points, along with many more, that you want to consider before choosing your university. The first one is price, and so that's when you determine your total budget for your degree and then search for your university that fits within that price range. So if you're able to spend, let's say, $50,000 for your academic career, divide that by how many years you're planning on attending, and that's how you have your annual budget. Plan is when you determine your career plans and what you would tend to study to find the university that's right for you. So if you want to work right after school or you want to continue your education, your plan plays a significant role in choosing your universities. Some universities offer undergraduate and graduate programs, some don't. So make sure you have an idea of your plan before you decide your university. Finally, location. So the states are states. So there's 50 different vibes and feelings and different locations within the United States. So research the difference between the regions to find where you may feel most comfortable. Every state has a unique twist and a unique resource for whatever you're looking for. So take that into consideration. A lot of people have family that stay in the states, I know, so you can ask their opinion. What do you think about Wisconsin? How about Nevada? Ask around and you might find a university that makes you most comfortable as well. Because even there are other non-academic things you want to keep in mind, like the weather. Some places get 3 feet of snow. Some places get only an inch of rain a year. So really consider that when you want to decide on where you want to go. Do we have some questions? Wow. We do have questions. Okay. Just a second. Are West Coast universities better than East Coast universities for a master's in computer science due to Silicon Valley being in the West? Well, I feel like that answer is definitely objective. So it's all depending on what you're looking for in a university. Yes, Silicon Valley is very popular for what's being asked, but it's more you researching that specific university, not necessarily the area, looking into the course content and finding what suits your needs better. So it's all your opinion, and it just would all really depend on individual research. I hope I answered your question. And I think I'll take one more. Mm, mm, Any specific ranking for the USA? Okay, if you could clarify your question, I would love to answer it a little more and ask it again. I'll take questions in another couple of slides. Okay. So number 9, look for options to ease finances. So when you apply to a university, before you accept it, they give you a financial aid package. So they're saying you can accept this offer with this much money that we're giving to you, depending on different things. So there's scholarships that are merit-based and need-based. Merit-based means it's based off of your credentials. SATs, if you guys are familiar with that, is the standardized testing for the states. And 2400 is a perfect score. Very rarely do people get a 2400. I sure didn't, but it's okay. You can still get into a great school with any score. But this is definitely something that would determine many of your merit-based scholarships. Because if you show scholastic excellence, most of the time universities are going to want you in their school, so they'll offer you a lot more money. And need-based scholarships as well. There are typically portions of applications where you can express maybe how much a need-based scholarship may benefit you. So that is also when the need-based scholarships would come into play. So granted, just a merit-based and a need-based scholarship may not offer everything that you need help with. So there's also other ways to get financial aid once you have accepted admissions to a university. So other sources of financial aid include research scholarships. So I know at George Mason there's a really nice program called Oscar, and they pay you to research a subject that you're interested in. This is very popular with our STEM majors, but it also is popular with our humanities as well. And so you get to learn and you get paid to learn. It's like a double win. So research scholarships are very beneficial. They are competitive, so applying early would be good, maybe at the start of your second semester. Teaching assistantships, these usually happen at graduate level. So once you have your undergraduate degree and whatever you're pursuing your master's in, you can find a professor that teaches the same course, and you can help them either teach or even something behind the scenes such as grading papers. This is also another way to learn while still getting compensation, and this is a little more beneficial because it also gives you work experience. So after you finish your degree, you can always say, not only did I finish my degree, not only did I get good grades, but I also helped out and I have experience in the real workforce. So that's beneficial. And athletic scholarships. So I hear a lot of students coming into the office saying they play tennis or cricket. Cricket's not as popular in the U.S., but if you play a sport very well, many times universities love when people play sports very well, so they'll offer athletic scholarships. It is uncommon to have one offered to you only because you're not in the country, but there's always tryouts where you can just walk in and show your skills, and if the coach or the university officials see that you're great, they can definitely offer you money from there. Typically, athletic scholarships are very substantial, so if you play a sport well, really look into those. Finally, internships, paid and unpaid. And we're going to talk about internships a little later, but internships are beneficial because they give you work experience. And it's also possible for people at the undergraduate level to get internships. Pay is good because you get paid. Unpaid internships are also very good because you get to actually work in places where that's more tailored to your education. So make sure if you are accepting an unpaid internship, it's as specific as it can possibly be. Because while you may not be getting physical money as compensation, you get an experience that no one can necessarily buy for compensation. So make sure your internships are really similar to your field of study, and you should be okay. All right, number 8, grades matter. Grades definitely matter. So in the U.S., your GPA is what composes what measures your academic success. It's your grade point average. So many universities use a plus and minus grading system, and as you can see in the chart, it's as follows. So normally people are used to A, B, C, D. A is 90, B is 80. But more private universities and more of the competitive universities that I'm sure many people are going to want to attend also implement the plus and minus system. And this seems minute, but it's very important. So a 4.0 GPA is ideal. It's what everybody wants to get. You get to graduate summa cum laude. It's the highest degree you could possibly get, having a 4.0 or any degree in that range. So you get that by getting high grades, 93 to 100%, or an A. But many students get the idea of A minus confused with an A when they're very different. As you can see, an A is weighted as a 4.0, while an A minus is only weighted as a 3.67. So they have significantly different weights. So if you do consider going to university in the States, don't be complacent at an A minus or a B minus just because of the letter grade. Those really matter. They might as well be just completely different grades. I see another question coming through. Just one second. Oh, huh. Okay. What are the advantages of good TOEFL scores? Well, that measures your aptitude to speak and understand English in the schools, in the universities. So that can also contribute to your merit-based scholarships. That's something that's included in your application before they extend the offer to you. So if they see you have amazing TOEFL scores, you speak great English, you have great SAT scores and high marks in school, they'll see you're a really strong and well-rounded candidate, and that would also contribute to your merit-based scholarships. So if you guys have any more questions, let me know. And no, you're not too late. You just joined, came at a great time. So also, these grades form your cumulative and semester GPA. So there's a difference. Every semester, there's 2 semesters in an academic year, they average your grades. So semester GPA is only for the courses you took during that semester, while a cumulative GPA is for all of the courses that you've taken during your academic career. And these are important because many majors require a certain GPA within that major. So for example, if you're interested in engineering and you want to attend a school of engineering, they may have a requirement that you have to have every semester at least 3.0, but for your cumulative, a 3.5. They sound like small differences, but they really matter in keeping you into competitive schools because many people want to be there. Number 7, do your research before choosing your classes. This is a big mistake that I made before taking some classes. I signed up for this really hard class and I didn't do so well because I didn't do my research on what the class was. So I felt like from that point on, when I researched my class more, I was able to get better grades as I had a better understanding of the courses I was taking. So research can include asking someone or going online for yourself, even calling the specific school you're interested in. So it's important to search for common first-year courses, and most common courses are archived on the school's pages. And the good reason to do this is to see what's common. All first-year students aren't taking 400, 300 level classes, and they're not doing that for a reason. So if you see the trends that first-year students are taking, you can more understand that to find the courses that are right for you. This can give you an idea of the courses you should expect to take. Speak to your academic advisor and base plans on anticipated graduation date. So explain your anticipated graduation date to your academic advisor. While undergraduate degrees typically take 4 years, you can definitely graduate faster depending on how many AP credits, advanced placement credits you have, or how many dual enrollment courses you have, which enroll you for college classes before you've gotten there. You could, or even if you can increase your coursework rigor, you can get out in 3 years. And also speak to your academic advisor. They're there to guide you into the best direction that you're looking for based on your needs. And most universities with international programs have international advisors, so they can help you recommend the best coursework. Just do your research before choosing your courses. Number 6, you do not need to decide your major right away. This is a big question that many students that come into the office have because that's how it is in other countries. where you have to know what you want to do before you get in, and you have to stick with that. I feel like the U.S. understands that it's kind of hard to ask someone what they want to do for the rest of their life when they're only 18. So they offer that flexibility for you to be able to choose your major as you go along. So it's understandable that individual research may be difficult. That's why it's important to attend orientation. I know it sounds tempting to just want to stay at home those 3 more days and all you miss is orientation, but orientation is very important because it's meant to be fun and informative. This is a chance you get to meet new students, to meet your friends. Majority of people on campus hang out with people that they met at orientation. My friends, I have many friends that I met at orientation, I guess 2.5 years ago, and we're still friends. I think it's great because everyone's experiencing that new vibe of being in a university. Everyone's experiencing being there for the first time, coming from different locations. So it's great to attend orientation because that's a great way to bond with someone because right out immediately you have a common interest or you have a common trait that you guys are both new. So don't think orientation isn't important. It's very important and to attend it. So while studying in the U.S., you don't have to feel forced to decide a major because everything changes and U.S. understands that. The structure for the universities are more flexible than many countries. So flexibility, time, and exploration are things that really contribute to you choosing your major. So studying in the U.S. provides flexibility to choose your major at your own pace because even if you have a little bit of time, feeling pressured can lead you to making not the best decision because you don't have time to think it through. Time. Many universities allow students about 1 to 2 years to decide their major. So they have courses called general education courses, or you can be your major be classified as undeclared. And during that time period, you can take general education requirements that everyone has to take. That way, when you decide your major, you're not put behind anyone else. Finally, exploration. There are many academic paths that are designed for students to explore majors and find something that they like. So if you want to take one class in engineering and you want to take one class in finance or government to find what you like, that's perfectly okay and it's not going to set you back. Just take the time to make sure you take the time to research thoroughly to find what's best for you. And more questions. Those are fun. Oh, sorry, there's so many. I just don't know where to start. Okay, which universities offer scholarships for undergrad to international students? Adrian. That's my friend's name. So almost any university that has a international program you will still be eligible for scholarships to that. There are non-discriminatory laws in the United States that prevent any university from denying you a scholarship or any possibility because you're an international student. If anything, the fact that you're coming and choosing their university is applauded. So no, there's not a specific university that offers them because most of them or all of them do. I hope that answers your question. And I think I'll just take one more. Wow. Okay. Well, actually, I'm not going to take one more. We're going to keep going because I think some of these questions are similar and they might be answered later on. So if I'm not answering your question, just let me know at the end. We will have a frequently asked questions portion. Oh, I like this question. I'll answer this one. Which one will I be? A big fish in a small pond or a small fish in a big pond? So I guess that's definitely just translated. That's I think you're asking if you should attend a university that's bigger and that makes you seem like a small fish, or attend a more small, private, intimate university that allows you to get the attention that you need. That's always a big question, and that's something that I asked myself too when I attended university. But that ties back into just choosing what's right for you. So my university has about 30,000 students. So that'd be a big pond. But I definitely don't feel like a small fish just because the classes I involve myself in or the specific majors I'm interested in. I really feel like I'm a big fish in a big pond. So you can definitely find whatever is valuable to you. If having a small teacher to student ratio is important to you, if you need to have that attention from a professor, maybe a smaller school might be right for you. If you like the excitement of seeing many people, diverse people, and just getting to experience so many things, and you're very self-driven, a big university might be right for you. So I hope that answered your question. What a great question. I like that. Okay, number 5, attending college is like having a full-time job. So for those of you who don't know, in the States, a full-time job is 40 hours a week, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. So that's a long day, and that's a long college day. Um, Classwork and extracurricular activities can take up more than 40 hours a week. Um, Majority of classwork is done outside of the classroom. So, for example, if you have a class that's from 12 p.m. to 1 p.m., a 1-hour class, that's not where your classwork ends. You have about 3 extra hours of outside classroom work that is required for you. So when you combine your activities that you do, when you combine your classroom time as well as your class work, it's easy to be busy from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m., many times longer. So extracurricular activities are very important. We get that question a lot. How important do U.S. universities look at them? They look at them very importantly when you're applying because they want to make sure you're a well-rounded candidate. But while you're in the university, they are still very important for future employment purposes and so on. And we'll get to those more specifics when we talk about internships and jobs after. So extracurricular activities can allow you to grow within yourself and strengthen your teamwork and interpersonal skills, especially when there are people that you haven't met before, haven't interacted before, and would have no other reason to interact with them other than your activity. So they allow you to grow. They allow you to learn more about the elements that are outside of your coursework. You get to experience the actual culture and the actual U.S. experience. You get to learn that. And finally, networking. You get to make connections with new people. This is very important in the U.S. If you're interested in business and you meet everyone that's a business major, that can only get you so far. But it will really help you when you meet that art major, that dance major, that government major, because what if you want to do business with them? It's really great to get a good idea of who's around you and pay attention to the resources that you have. So just joining an organization will help you because you will at least be with them with that one common interest. So other extracurricular activities may include sports, dance, music, organizations such as clubs or organizations, community service organizations, internships, and more. So now we're going to get more into the internships. I feel like this is definitely a hidden gem. Many people don't see like the potential that a good internship can get you. So I hope after I explain you'll be more excited to get one. Also, document all of your activities to build your resume. If you helped your friend do a performance and you help them set up their lighting, document that to show that you have great technical skills. If you helped your teacher stay after one day and grade papers, write that down and say that you're a hard worker and you're go the extra mile. Document all of your activities and everything you do to build your resume, because many times when it's time to sit down and build your resume, you forget all of the significant things that you do. So keep it like a living, breathing document, kind of like our Constitution. Okay. So what about internships? How, where, and why to get them as an international student? So I'm going to ask you a series of rhetorical questions that you do not have to answer, but just think of that as implying the benefits that a good internship can bring you. So what if your internship led you to a job right after graduation? What if your internship landed you the job over someone with better grades? What if your job paid for you to go back to school, maybe to get a master's or another master's? And what if you unlock skills you did not know you had? These are the what ifs you should ask yourself before you decide if you want to do an internship. Because these are the benefits and these are the things that a successful internship can bring you. So if you're anyone that's excited for this, I know all of you are, you're going to be wondering, how do I get an internship, Aquila? Well, I'll tell you right now. But before I do, I want to make sure you know the 3 things that an internship can bring you. An internship allows you the possibility to grow within yourself. A lot of times internships are not specifically aligned with your field of study. So this allows you to grow in fields that you normally wouldn't have gotten in the classroom. Surprise yourself. You might find that you're actually very good at accounting and you didn't ever even think about doing that. You might surprise yourself with the things that you are able to do and ultimately succeed. The thing that's going to make you succeed more when you compare yourself with other people is the well-roundedness and all the qualities that you can bring to another job. So ultimately it can lead to success. And these are the 3 main places that you should look for that you should look if you're interested in an internship. USA Jobs, they keep open actual job openings in the states, and so in any government industry or anyone's looking for a job or an intern, they'll post it here, and that's a great way to start and apply. And almost every college campus has a career services office, so you can go in and talk to them. Say, hey, I really want an internship. I want to gain exposure on this. Can you lead me to some internships or help me find where to apply? And finally, if all else fails, personally inquire. Go in yourself and ask. If you see someone building a great building and you're an architecture major and you want to help, say, hi, can I be your intern? Can I help? Because many times people don't even have the idea of getting an intern or getting someone to help them, or they overlook the fact that people really appreciate what they do. So by you making that first step and inquiring yourself, that is a good chance that you're going to get that internship, and that's where your growing would come even further. So landing your internship. So cover letter, resume, follow-up skills, and persistence are 4 things that you are going to need when you're trying to land an internship. So a cover letter should be made new each time based on any experience, but it is definitely tailored to your job. So when you're writing a cover letter, you want to make sure you look up what the company does. You want to look up its values. You want to look up where you could see your role within that company, and make sure you portray all of that in your cover letter, because that's the most that really contributes to how you look on paper and how they see you before they actually meet you. Your resume is where you document all of the things that you have done, all of your accomplishments, all of your extracurricular activities. This is where you showcase yourself. This is where you dress up yourself. You're putting makeup on your paper because this is your resume, and you're making yourself look as great as possible. Follow-up skills are definitely something that you're going to need when you're trying to get an internship or any job for that matter. Typically in the States, here's how it works. You apply for a job, they say thank you for your application, then you wait and wait. And sometimes you're waiting. I'm still waiting. Um, Sometimes you wait for it to get a response, and many times, just with the high demand for your jobs, people don't always get calls. So you have to take initiative and follow up in order for you to get those jobs. So here's how it should happen. You turn your application. They say thank you. Instead of leaving, you say, when would you like to follow up with you? If they say Wednesday, call, ask them what time. If they say Wednesday at 3, call Wednesday at 2:59. Be there and be persistent. And if they answer and say, we're still looking at applications, say, okay, when do you think you'll be done? I mean, without being pushy, but showing that you're persistent and that you're determined to get this job will open their eyes and make them, even if they just take a closer look at your application, eventually that will get you somewhere. And on your resume, cover letter, anywhere, market your unique skills as an international student. If I wasn't in India right now and I was just a student in the States and I'm applying for a job with one of you, we can both have the best grades, we can both have the best involvement, best extracurricular activity, but one thing that you would have that I wouldn't have is you have experience working, interacting, and living in India. You're an international student. You're able to interact and you're able to showcase yourself on different levels, and that's something that I can't compete with as a person that lives there. So make sure you market those unique skills as an international student, because at the end of the day, the company wants to see who can bring the most to my company. You want to say, me, I'm well-rounded because I have something that everyone else doesn't have. So don't overlook that, and really praise that fact that you have those unique abilities coming into a situation. Okay, I think one question I see. Am I visible? No, you're not. This is just a webinar, so I can only see your message. Thank you. And lastly, ooh, is 1940 bad in SAT? Oh my goodness, that is really good. I think I got like a 1600. That's a really good SAT score. You should be proud of it. You probably studied really hard. Yes, it could get you scholarships, just depending on the university. Here's what you should do. Find out the average admission rate for a university, and if your 1940 is higher than that average admission rate, it's a good chance that it'll get you scholarship. Okay. Oh, okay, another question. What is the monthly cost of living in the U.S.? So that's totally dependent on where you live. Where I stay, in Fairfax, Virginia, it's, I believe, the sixth richest county in the country. It's not too cheap. My first year I lived off campus, and I think I paid, like an average is like maybe $550 or $550 or like $600 a month. How many rupees is that? It is about 3,500 rupees a month. Actually, no, that's nowhere near that. I calculated wrong. It's a lot. It's so about $500 average a month is how much you should expect to live off campus. However, if you're an international student, more times than not, if you're doing undergrad, you're going to want to live on campus, and that be included in your tuition rate. But other factors including like food or clothes. I feel like if you just want like pocket money and comfortably enough money to spend, just an average amount, maybe would be like $100 a week, $400 a month, and that's just for like not including the things you have to have. That's just like loose spending money. So that's why it's important to get a part-time job on campus, and we will talk about that as well. Oh, perfect. You will have to learn to care for yourself. Anyone who has a maid, please raise your hand. Can't see you, but I know you're raising it. So going into the U.S., go into the U.S. with an open mind. You'll have to do many unexpected things yourself. So you must learn chores such as cooking, cleaning, and laundry for yourself. But don't worry, you won't be alone learning them. Many, even U.S. students, learn them just when they get to college, and it's okay. But it is important to note that maids are uncommon in the U.S. Even for an hour, it's just very expensive. So it's economically and just growth-wise more valuable to do things yourself. But as an international student, like I spoke of your international advisor, they're there to support you, and they understand that everyone comes from different backgrounds. So if you really don't know how to do your laundry, or you're hungry and you really don't know how to turn the stove on, don't feel afraid to ask for help, because that's what they're there for, and it's a learning experience. And I can almost promise you most of the time, if you make friends that are from the U.S., they would love to show you how to do something as, oh, I'll show you how to do laundry, and they'll think it's really interesting getting to see the differences between your cultures, how that's not, you didn't know that and how they did, and maybe you can teach them things along the way. So as long as you go in with an open mind to learn new things, you should be okay, but you will have to learn new things. Number 3, American social life can be very different. So America is known as the melting pot, and you will be exposed to a great diversity while studying in the U.S. But just be aware, a culture shock may result from American social life due to its diversity, for one. So as referring to the melting pot, there's people from everywhere that come to America. And they live there and they make that their home. So you'll be exposed to different diverse ethnicities, religions, people, years. It's not uncommon to see someone in your classroom that's maybe twice your age or maybe half your age. It's just everyone comes from just many different places. So it allows you to be more open-minded, and it's okay to ask questions because, like I said, many people in the U.S. would love to teach you about their culture. um, Culture shock may result from the cultural norm. So even the way that people dress may be a little different. So it's okay not to be, don't be alarmed. Just take it in and observe, and you'll get used to understanding the cultural norms between America and India, or can be quite different, to say the least. And values. Different people value many different things in the U.S. Some people value career more, some people value family more, some people work to have a great balance of everything. So use this opportunity to talk to people around you to find out what everyone's values are. And it would give you the best representation of the people in the U.S. But don't be shocked. It's okay. You can just be informed. Number 2, be prepared to do a lot of writing. Haha, you see that was intentional. Word pun there. Reading and writing are very popular in schools in the U.S. So just an example of a common assignment based if you have a writing intensive course, such as maybe history is a writing intensive course. A common assignment would be 5-page essay. That's normal. Many teachers say have one to me tomorrow. It's something that's very common. But if you don't have a writing intensive course, maybe you're in a science or a STEM course, working through an online module is also a common assignment. Very rarely do students get handouts or worksheets to work on. Most of it is independently done online at home, or it's even uncommon to have questions out of a book. So it's either online or a paper. And many assignments are outlined in a course syllabus given at the beginning of a semester. So course syllabus is basically the whole class in a nutshell, and you get that at the beginning of the day, at the beginning of the semester. So that goes over the grade breakdown, what percentages do exams play into your grade, what percentages does attendance play into your overall grade, when you're going to have what exams, what's going to be due on which day, and even a schedule of assignments from that day till the end of the semester. I noticed the people that have the best understanding of the course syllabus or the course syllabi ahead of time have the most success because they know what to expect out of the course. Um, and reading and writing tutoring centers are available on many campuses. So I know a lot of students aren't used to writing 5-page essays. Well, it is double-spaced, so I guess it's like 2.5. But there are definitely resources available for you to get help. And the students that seek out those resources actually end up with the strongest writing skills. So there's always, always, always somewhere to get help. And it's important to keep in mind that the goal of U.S. schools is to watch their students succeed. So don't be afraid to ask and reach out for help if you need it, because ultimately that's the goal of the university. And finally, you have to complete 120 credits to graduate on average. Okay, I'll take like one question really quick because they're coming fast. Please answer my question. I'm sorry. Okay, what's your question? Oh, okay, found it. Ooh, okay. Is working in a family business considered as work experience? Oh, that's a common question. I'm glad I saw that. Yes, that's great working experience. You can play it both ways. You can work up the fact that it's a family business and say working is in my blood, or you could say it's just a business and say that you made a soft initiative to find a job for yourself. But that's great experience, and believe it or not, it's very uncommon to have in the U.S. So if you came um, there working and having that experience with a family business, that's definitely going to be something to set you apart from the others. Um, okay, so lastly, number 1, The number one most important thing to remember as an undergraduate student is on average, you must complete 120 grad credits to graduate. If you could find some way to do that in 1 year, tell me how, but you could graduate in 1 year. Most of the time it takes 4 years on average, 3 years if you have other credits coming in. But I'm going to show you the breakdown of where each of the 120 credits come from. So all the data is used as a rough example with rounded percentages and does not reflect all universities. So first off, 60 credits are to fill your major requirement. So that composes about 50% of the coursework. Major requirement is your major field of study. So your major could be engineering, accounting, finance, and so on. 40 of your credits are filled by the university's general requirements. So that's about 30% of your coursework. So the general requirements are courses that anyone has to take regardless of major. Those are your English 101, your Biology 101, your Math, your humanities classes. I took an African dance class for my world appreciation class, and that fulfilled my general education requirements. So those are classes that you have to take. So while we're referring to these are the classes that you would just be taking if you haven't decided your major yet. So even when you do decide, you won't be behind because everyone has to take those courses. And then finally, 20 of your credits come from an elective or a minor. So many students don't understand minor, so I'll explain that really quick. So it's basically like a subset of your field of study. So many people might want to keep them similar, or they could be different. So I'm a government and international politics major with a business minor. But if I wanted to do an art minor, I could. If I wanted to do a dance minor, I could. So there's benefits to each. Keeping it tailored and keeping them in the same school or keeping them in the same area allow you to have a stronger force in a specific area that you apply for. But broadening your major and minor out, they allow you to be a more well-rounded candidate to say you can bring even more to their company because most people aren't going to major in a minor in two different things. And if you don't want to take a minor, it's okay to take electives, which are just fun courses like maybe a pottery class or a radio class or just that you've always been interested in, and those are fun ways to explore as well. Or even if you don't want to make them like a humanities or arts class, you can just take more classes that are related to your major. Those are just free credits and you can use them as you please. So electives are a smart avenue to explore. They're smart to explore one's avenues and things that everyone is interested in. And finally, a journey of 1,000 miles begins with the first step. So this is a quote that I usually think of a lot when I'm taking on a big task, if I have a big paper, or just starting something new. So it's understandable to see that the journey studying in the USA of 1,000 miles begins with the first step, and the first step is actually inquiring, asking, taking that initiative to inform yourself. So the first step could be at using the resources around you. This webinar is a resource, so check step 1. But also ask people around you. Maybe you know someone that's gone to the U.S. And if you want even more advice, the Chopras counselors that can also offer you advice on specific things that you're looking for. However you want to get to your destination, just find the right first step for you. So I hope that quote brings you comfort. Now, any questions? Here's the fun part. Yay. Oh, and it was 40,000 rupees for the 600 a month. I thought of it. There you go, 40,000 rupees. I don't know what lakhs means. So, TK. Okay. So, I'm picking. Okay. Are extracurricular activities required for admission in university? No. They're not a requirement. However, they are highly suggested, like so highly suggested they might as well be a requirement, but they're not. So extracurricular activities are one of the best ways besides your grades that you can set yourself apart from others. So they're very important, and because the university, before they let anyone in, they want to think, what more can you bring to my university? How can you add value into my institution. So you saying, well, not only am I a scientist, but I can juggle and I played cricket my whole life. Like, that's something great. So it makes you seem more well-rounded, but no, they're not required. Um, just a second. Try to figure out. Okay. Um, are transfer students considered equal to normal students in terms of scholarships and other things? I'm going to go out on a limb and assume other things means opportunities that you can apply for once you're in your university. So to that part, other things, yes. So if you're applying for a research scholarship through Oscar, for the example I gave, that would be the same. If you're applying for an internship on campus, off campus, that definitely would be the same. And there are transfer scholarships that you would just have to note when you apply for them. They're all specific to the university. So just ask your university, call the financial aid office. Their number is almost always on their website, and they can answer your question specifically for the university you have in mind. Hi, Aquila. Oh, hi. So does part-time work, okay, will we answer that question? Part-time work experience on a family business, it does matter and it's significant, so don't overlook that. Um, okay. Just one second. Mm, they keep moving, I can't. Okay. Oh, okay. What does Aquila mean? It means eagle in Latin and Spanish. Thank you. Um, okay. Are subject SATs a good way to improve your application? Yes, yes. Well, of course, if they're good scores, not if they're bad. Don't submit them if they're bad. But yes, it's a great way to improve your application because let's say you don't have the marks that your ideal marks that you would want to get into university, but you want to go into something specific. I just keep using engineering for example as engineering. So let's say you don't have maybe your marks are pretty low, but you take SATs, get a 2,000. You take subject tests and get an 800 in a math subject test. That's really good, and they can offer you a conditional admission based on like as long as you go into this major because they see whether you're not strongest academically for a broad field, but you're strong in the field you're trying to go into, they'll see you'll be prosperous. So yes, subject SATs are a good way to improve your application. Just make sure it's relevant to your coursework. Because if you're applying for engineering and you do a history subject test, I mean, it's not going to be too beneficial. Any tips on college essays? Yes, I do. Um, Universities can be very particular on the grammar of college essays. Actually, it's a very specific thing. So make sure that you know what you're saying, you map it out, you don't rush so you have the time to put the attention that's needed into it, and you get it looked over by one, two, maybe three other people. Because when you have grammatical errors, spelling errors, it makes it seem like you don't care. So if you're applying for a scholarship and you're applying for money, make sure you know that they know that you care by putting the time that's needed into something. So a tip that I have is make sure that it's grammatically correct and make sure you took the time to do it because then you can really put thought into what you're writing. So yes. Is torrenting illegal? Yes. Piracy, torrenting, same thing. Um, is there I'm sorry, the question got cut off. Is it true that one should choose a major that would get them a job in a minor that they love? Um, well, no, that's totally opinion, but I know a lot of people that do that. So you kind of get like the best of both worlds. I guess you get the exposure that you like, and you get the actual major that holds weight if you like. But if you love it, there's no reason that you wouldn't be successful in it. So I would say it's not true, but it's definitely possible and it's definitely common. Um, So look into that. Maybe you can even love the major that can get you a job. Um, Is there daycare on campus? Oh, that's a great question. Oh, I clicked it right now. Is there daycare for kids available on universities? Many universities have child development programs, or they have nurseries, or students that are studying to be preschool teachers or kindergarten teachers or anything. They have a separate nursery on campus that's for the students learning, but you could bring your children in and you can have them watch your children. They do have to go through a level of certification first, so it's not you're just trusting your student with your child with other students. They do have some level of background check they have to be cleared for, and it is pretty safe. So there is daycare available on most universities. I can't speak for all, but I know George Mason does, and I know of a few others that do as well. Any more questions? Yes? Okay. SAT and ACT for business course. There's no requirement. However, a great SAT score, perfect score is 2,400. So if you get a 2,000, that puts you in as a strong candidate for most business schools. However, if you are looking up GPA requirements, SAT requirements for universities, make sure you check schools that have strong business programs, which is a given, but there's no general requirements. It's all based on the school. And you can even, for some universities, see the average SAT score for students that enter the business college, so you could get an idea that way as well. I hope that answered your question. Only books or laptop at college. Laptop. You're gonna need a laptop like almost all the time. Books are good, but like textbooks can get expensive. So a big way people try to cut back on expenses is getting an ebook, and they look at their ebook on their laptop. You have to write a paper. Very few teachers or professors accept a handwritten paper. So, or you have to watch a video for class, or you have to record something for class. Laptops are almost as important as the books. Don't get a laptop and not get the book unless you get an ebook, but laptops are very beneficial, and you don't want to hinder yourself by not being prepared. Or even if you don't have a laptop, make sure you have like steady access to a university. How much does a top college cost in the U.S.? Well, top is vague and definitely discretionary, so research your ideal college, and if you don't see it on the website, call their financial aid office, and make sure when you're looking for tuition fees, you don't look at in-state or you don't look at out-of-state, you look at the international rate, because it's very different and that could be very misleading, so make sure you pay attention to that. Okay. Oh, this is a nice one. Should we obsess over rankings before selecting the university or rely on the people's experiences um, as a whole that went to the university? Um, Rankings are important. I noticed many students coming in here, but it is important to find, I guess, like those hidden gems. So some universities are amazing that may not get the necessary credit that they're looking for. Majority of the time that happens because they have a specific area of study that's very strong. So if you hear something that's great, look more into it, be open-minded. I feel like the people that are hindered the most are the people that obsess over rankings and they find a school with a higher ranking, but that's not suited for them. So make sure you find a school that's suited for you. So really take people's experiences in because a number only goes so far. It's really beneficial to talk to the people that have actually been there, experienced schooling there, and received the education from there. I hope that answers your question. Ooh, okay. Okay. So last question. Gotta find a really nice one. Um, Can I speak a bit louder, please? Yes. Okay, now last question. Can we apply for a job during studies? Yes, you can. There are many on-campus opportunities available, whether it's with our food on campus or there's even really nice places such as like working at the info desk. You can take an on-campus internship. A job would also be a teaching assistantship like we spoke of earlier or even research. All of these are available on campus. and they come fairly easy. And this is also another way to meet new students because you guys have something similar. You're coming from different places and you're all working. Extracurricular activities do not count for credit. However, community service can count for credit as long as you arrange it the right way. Okay? TK? Okay, so thank you everyone for tuning in to the webinar. If you have questions that I have not answered, representatives from the Chopras will get back to you and respond, answering the things that you need. I really had a fun time. Your questions were exciting, and I'm really glad I got to see things that you all found important. So again, if you have any other questions, ask someone around, research, and if anything, the Chopras is here to answer any questions that you may have. So thank you very much, and I hope you have a great evening.